Welcome back to the channel, champions of Azeroth. Come dive deeper into the lore with me. Let's see where we left off in Azeroth, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay guys, welcome back to Classic World of Warcraft, Mr. Pandaria. We're down here in Booty Bay. Sorry for the delay. We skipped a day on doing lore. We had an audio issue that kind of made it all messed up. But needless to say, we're here with War Mage earlier, and we're going to be heading to Western Plaguelands, funny enough, because it's actually a lower end zone for questing rather than I thought we were going to Swamp of Sorrows. But needless to say, let's head on over to Western Plaguelands. Let's get into it. We just received a griffin from the Plaguelands, bearing news. It doesn't sound good. The city of Anderhall is in the middle of a three-way war between the Forsaken, the Alliance, and the Scourge. King Wren has rolled the dice and sent a Death Knight to lead the charge for his cause, but I'm sure he can use all the help he can get. They especially asked for an Alliance adventurer to participate in some specialized missions. If you accept the charge, speak to me again and I will prepare a portal. It's about time you arrived, adventurer. Arge the Summoner is bolstering the Scourge defenses with simple skeletons as an army of winklings that will overwhelm you before it overpowers you. He has assembled anime with Anderhall's northern towers that spew these skeletons out at an alarming rate. But I've got the solution. Lang passes you a handful of grenades. Their function is simple. Throwing these grenades at a bone animus, or for that matter, a mob of skeletons, will reduce them to splinters. These grenades are all explosives, nothing more. I may not be a goblin engineer, but I still understand the value of being able to just explode things every once in a while. Dried up Scourge, weak. Abomination, strong. We defeat strong abominations. We win. Abomination, strong. Adventurer, stronger. Darkmaster Gadling of the Cult of the Damned leads the Scourge offensive here in Anderhall. My old counterpart, Keltira, leads the Forsaken forces. If we are to win Anderhall, we'll have to defeat both, but we will certainly fall if we take on both at once. I know Keltira well enough to know that he will focus on the Scourge first. We will do the same. Take out the weaker, desiccated Scourge to reduce their numbers. The Forsaken will have to wait to taste our wrath. You may not act quickly, but at least you do not fail me. Very well, I have a more important task for you, adventurer, when the time is right. Gadling has brought his lieutenant Rattlegore with him. This clattering horror is far more dangerous than any of the other Scourge you find upon the battlefield. Even the Abomination. Excellently done, adventurer. With the Animus destroyed, the next logical step is to take out Arge himself, and to take a shard of his phylactery. You've probably already seen him lurking at the fountain in the center of town. Take my grenades with you. They won't do anything to Arge, but if he decides to summon any of those skeletons, you can use them to blow them away again. Arge dead? This is good. The gnome has done his part in winning this war, as have you. The Scholomance is one of the few Scourge holdouts remaining west of Thunderall. The headmaster of Scolomance's cultists by the name of Darkmaster Gatling has made an appearance on the battlefield. This will be his final mistake. You will fight Gatling in a square near the southern end of the town. I want you to fight and weaken Gatling. I will join you to help finish him off. Excellently done, adventurer. And now, with the leader of the Scourge forces eliminated from Anderhall, we bide our time. The Alliance are victorious, and our forces are still strong. Military strategy dictates that we attack the Forsaken now, while they are recovering and unaware. I made a deal, however. We will wait. We attack Keltira and his troops when the time is right. In the meantime, we speak with Guinea Goodwin and take a flight to the Chillwind camp to our south. Commander Asham Valorfist will give you your next assignment. Word arrived shortly before you did, adventurer. With the Scourge ejected from Anderhall, we are one step closer to retaking Lordaeron. We must always be prepared to battle, adventurer, whether that battle is against the Forsaken in Anderhall, against the Scourge in the east, or against some yet unknown foe is unknown. What is known is that we must be ready. We are low on arrows. I can obtain the shafts and heads, but I still need feathers. The birds that circle to the northwest typically molt this time of year. Would you mind traveling out into the field and gathering some of these feathers for our camp? I will have my Fletchers get to work on these. I'm glad to see you're being so useful right away, adventurer. Perhaps later I will have some more exciting tasks for you. I hail from Westfall, far to the south, as do these men that travel with me. We are farmers and nothing more. I had been told that Lordaeron had been healed and that it was ready for tilling. However, this commander now tells me that it's too dangerous to proceed. He says that there's a war going on and that the Plaguelands still aren't healed. Before anything else, I need to get some food in my men's stomachs. Anything will do. Bear seems to be plentiful. You hunt like a true adventurer. Even if we can't set up our homesteads, at least we can still eat. Sar Hill up the road to the northeast was one of the first places for that the Argent Crusaders and the Cenarian Circle were able to heal. The area is now freed of the scourge. However, there are still many specters of the past that, for some reason, have not passed on into the next world. They may be mourning. They may have unfinished business, or they may just be lost. Take the thrumble and use it to douse them with holy essence. One way or another, we will help them move on to the next plane. Hopefully most of them passed away peacefully. I thank you, adventurer. These farmers from the south wish to take these farms, but I can't let them enter the Plaguelands unprepared. Even with the scourge gone, danger still looms in the form of the Forsaken. No, we must be ready to fight, and that includes our new visitors. Before doing anything else, however, I would recommend that you travel to Uther's tomb to the east and place this tribute before his statue to ask for his blessing. Speak with the priest that tends to the tomb when you are finished. You and the humans at Chilwyn Camp wish to retake Anderhall? I wish you luck. If you truly intend to move forward in this battle for Anderhall, well, perhaps I can help. To the east lives a large crypt. The bottom level of the crypt was once used for storage of weapons and armor until the scourge came. Now that the undead have left, the weapons are free for the taking. Most of the weapons are probably rusted and rotten by now, but they will serve better than tunics and pitchforks. Scattered all over the bottom level of the crypt, you find shattered crates that once held weapons and armor. It appears that somebody got here before you did. As you turn to see the silhouettes of shambling skeletons on the stairs, the undead aren't gone from this crypt. They were lying in wait. Furthermore, they appear to be armed with the weapons that you came looking for. You'll have to escape from the crypt. On your way out, you should gather as many pieces of equipment as you can. Attacked? Ghosts? Strange. I suppose that crypt wasn't fully healed after all. You just missed Thuman Grant. You remember that oaf of a farmer that was here earlier? He took his men with him and traveled to the nearest farm against my orders. The farmers traveled to the Withering Haunt on an old farm to the northeast, across the river. Someone needs to keep an eye on them. Bring them those rusty weapons and armors you found. We can't have them fighting with pitchforks. Well, now that you're here, we'll gladly take the armor off your hands. You can keep the weapons, though. These men wouldn't know which end to hold. I told Commander Valifus that we could hold our own, and we intend to. I had a little conversation with the Death Knight, General Thazarin, on my way over here. We farmers plan to help in our own way. We will take control of this farm, begin to cultivate the land, and then when the Battle of Anderhall commences, we will attack the Forsaken from the rear. They'll never expect it. First, we need to get rid of these Forsaken outriders. Kill some, then return to me. You fight well, adventurer. My men could stand to learn a few moves from an experienced adventurer like you. In fact, you might still be able to help train some of my men. You probably noticed abominations outside. We initially tried to fight him, but he didn't fight back. He seems to want to help out in the farm. Take a group of 4 settlers and challenge the abomination to combat. He seems to be pretty tough, but with 1 of him and 5 of you, I think you'll have a chance at beating him. We can handle things from here. I thank you for your help, adventurer. I assume that when we next meet, it'll be in the battle. Take care of yourself. Until then, we'll need all the help we can get. These men and women here at Chilwyn Camp have noble goals, but their ultimate purpose is war. I would like to offer you an opportunity to pursue more peaceful goals. At the Mender's Stead behind war-torn Anderhall to the north, the Argent Crusade has joined forces with the Cenarian Circle. Together, we work on healing this land from the plague that used to reign here. Are you interested in joining our cause, adventurer? Welcome, adventurer. As you can see, our camp is a joint expedition between Argent Crusade members and Cenarian Circle druids, but we welcome all who wish to help heal the land. Adventurer, I'm glad someone's here to help me out. We Cenarian druids have recultivated Dawson's farm immediately behind us. The land has flourished and our crops have been successful, mostly. A few plants seem to still be infected by the plague that run through this land. Perhaps their roots were too deep, perhaps the seeds were weak. I cannot say. All I can say is that I need an able adventurer like you to help me remove the bad plants from the good ones. Thank you for your help, adventurer. I know that picking vegetables isn't the most heroic task imaginable, but even the humblest tasks have their rewards. No longer does the Scourge hold this area. We, the living, are retaking Lordaeron. We have taken great strides already. As you have already seen, the earth flowers, the trees grow tall and green, and the wildlife is beginning to return. Yet a few remnants of undeath remain. While the trees and the grass prosper, the animals are struggling. Something is preventing them from healing, and I tend to find out what. Bring me samples from the plagued wildlife so I may study them more closely. This will be more than enough, adventurer. Now I will need some time to perform my studies. I am Adrin Towhide, a druid of the Cenarian Circle. You can thank us for healing this land, where once there was only death. We accept all who choose to follow the druidic path, regardless of race, faction, or talent. Occasionally, that means we enlist a druid who needs more help than others. I'd like you to meet Zenkiki. He's pretty new and he's still learning his craft. Would you mind taking him out with you for a while? You can practice combat on the plague animals that roam nearby. It looks like Zenkiki is still having a little bit of trouble with his shapeshifting. Among the other things Zenkiki needs to work on is his spell accuracy. I could see his wrath spiraling out of control even from here. In fact, I used them as a marker to follow your progress through the woods. Perhaps we can use Zenkiki another way. Take him to the top of the hill just to our east. The diseased hawks that circle above that hill must be destroyed. Ask Zenkiki to shoot at these hawks. Even if he can't hit them, he will distract them so you can finish them off. Now we're getting somewhere. How many birds did Zenkiki end up killing? None? Oh, you killed them all yourself? Alright, I suppose we'll have to find another use for him. Then I will let you know when the time is right. We are not the only Argent Crusaders here in the Plaguelands. Our headquarters, Hearthglen, lies to the north. Even nearer to the north is a small lumber mill, which we also control. Nathaniel Dumas is my main contact at the lumber mill. I encourage you to speak with him should you find yourself in that part of the woods. Welcome to Northridge, adventurer. It's good to be back in Northridge. I've got my mill, my beautiful wife, a bouncing baby boy. I've even put in my hat with the Argent Crusade. We'll be supplying Terlone's forces with lumber. My lumberjacks were being exceptionally productive, too, up until the point when the spiders came. Now they refuse to go any deeper in the woods. Maybe you can help me out? Hop on one of my horses and use it to frighten those spiders? Maybe we can avoid bloodshed and just scare them away? Well, it sounds like they're certainly afraid of the Mustang, but they're not leaving for good. I can't have you running around on a horse forever, nor do I think you'd want to. I'm happy for Nathaniel. He spent so long trying to return to Northridge, and now, with the Scarlet Crusade out of the way, he can finally move back home. It's just, even for such a seemingly idyllic setting, it is not really the best place to raise a family. For example, along this valley's edge, you will find rabid foxes searching for innocent prey. Every once in a while, I catch a glimpse of one looking right at me. Please, adventurer, remove some of these foxes. I don't feel safe with them near. I feel a bit more relieved, adventurer. Thank you. The High Lord was generous enough to send some of his recruits to protect us here at the mill. With your horsemanship skills and their martial prowess, we can do away with this spider problem easily. Hop back on the Mustang and scare these spiders again, but this time scare them all the way up here to the mill. These Hearthglen recruits can handle things from there. That's much more like it. Now my lumberjacks can get to work again. Nice riding out there, adventurer. You cut a pretty impressive silhouette on that Mustang. Farther to the south, you will find the Red Pine Knolls, a new arrival to the area. You probably passed some on your way here. Nathaniel pretends like they're not a problem, but I know better. I've seen them running away with our lumber at night. I don't know what did with lumber. They don't seem particularly handy, but that doesn't stop them from stealing it. Head down to their camps and steal that lumber back. I'll put this back over in the lumber stores outside. Nathaniel probably won't even notice it was. I have my doubts about those Knolls' tensions. They haven't attacked us yet, but their numbers are growing and they seem to always have their weapons ready. I'm no military expert, but that seems a little aggressive to me. Maybe if we took away some of their weapons, they'd be a little bit less likely to pose a threat to our mill. I'd feel much better about the whole situation if you went down there and brought some of their weapons back to me. Thank you, adventurer. I'll be throwing these in the fire. We don't want those Knolls just sneaking in and stealing them back. Oh, before you go, adventurer, I have a message for you. There's someone in Hearthglen who'd like to meet you. Said he's heard your name pop up a few times already. Consider yourself lucky, adventurer. Not everyone gets the personal audience with High Lord Tyrion Fordring. Oh, and feel free to use one of my Mustangs for the ride up. They're the fastest money can buy. Adventurer, it is truly a pleasure. I know you are young and still training, but I've had my eye on you. We among the Argent Crusade are always looking for promising new recruits, and you have indeed shown great promise. I have no immediate task for you, but merely wished to meet you in person and see for myself what type of adventurer you really were. For the time being, the amenities of Hearthglen are yours to enjoy. I look forward to our next meeting, adventurer. You are dismissed. Finally, you're here. Get to work. My men have been sparring with those wooden practice dummies for far too long. Sure, you can learn to swing a sword by practicing with a dummy, but real combat requires a real combatant. I had asked for them to send me someone imposing, but I suppose a skinny armed adventurer will have to do. Now get in there and teach my men how to fight. I'm just looking over my paperwork here, and it says that we were expecting a male adventurer. You're not, Lieutenant Meyer looks at you awkwardly. Never mind, it would appear that you are not the person that I originally hired, but you did a good job, so I'm going to pay you anyhow. So I never caught your name, adventurer. Pleased to meet you, adventurer. I've got one more problem that needs fixing, and you have a look about you that just screams, I'm a problem fixer. There's a small mine on the northern edge of Hearthglen where we get most of the ore that the town needs. My daughter who works the mine normally do a decent job. Unfortunately, it seems that a larger than average spider has taken up residence within this cave. Think you can clear things up for me? Nice work. In retrospect, I'm glad that the other adventurer never showed up. You've proven to be all the help I need. Greetings, how do you do? My name is Daria. I am one of the priests in charge of preserving the peace here in Hearthglen. One of my duties involves maintaining the tower down the trail to the southeast of Hearthglen. This particular tower is of personal importance to the High Lord. It's the place where his son was killed. With the recent incursions of Knolls, however, maintenance of the tower has grown difficult. Will you help me rid the trail of some of these Knoll vandals so I can do my duty? I must admit, adventurer, I have been using my mind vision spell to keep tabs on you, and I must say, the numbers of Knolls you found on that trail is truly staggering. Allow me to concentrate for a moment. You feel Daria's mind vision travel elsewhere, then it returns to you. Further down the trail, south of Talion's Tower, the Knolls have carved out a small meeting area to the east of the main road. Something is happening there. I'm not certain what. We should investigate. I will look for anything out of the ordinary. You just protect yourself. Knolls and necromancy, what a surprise. And I thought that here in the Western Plaguelands we had put these dark days behind us. You sense Daria's eyes focusing on something on the ground. Wait, what is that? See those reagents over there? And those supplies right here? Those belong to the Argent Crusade. Gnolls are known for thievery, but as far as I know, Hearthglen hasn't had any incursions since the Red Pine came. Very suspicious. I know a few helpful folks within Hearthglen. Morith Vant, Outfitter Mendeleev, Bree Ironstock, and High Cleric Alphys. All can be trusted and are well connected. Question them to find out if they know anything about these lost supplies. Did you notice, Adventurer? Many names were mentioned, but one name was mentioned far more than others. Magus Biss is one of Hearthglen's most preeminent arcanists. To imagine that he would be interacting with gnolls and dabbling in necromancy, unthinkable. You'll find him atop the tower near Hearthglen's main gate. Hopefully he'll have an explanation for all this. If not, well, I want to go to the top of that tower unprepared, adventurer. I suppose that we take his aggression as an admission of guilt? You all right, adventurer? So you killed a member of the Argent Crusade inside of Hearthglen. Usually that's not smiled upon, even in self-defense. I recommend that you come back to Manderhold Keep and turn yourself in to High Lord Fordring. Hopefully he will hear you out and will be sympathetic with your situation. I hope I haven't gotten you in any trouble. I'm already aware of your actions, adventurer. I welcome you into my town, give you my blessing, and what do? You slayed the traitor that we've been hunting down for weeks? Well done. Your heroism is budding much earlier than even I had anticipated. I've been many places in my life, good adventurer. I fought the battle for Ahn'Qiraj, passed through the dark portal into Outland, and joined the Argent Crusade to beat down Scourge in the coldest Northrend. But before it all, I was a farmer from here in Lordaeron. Now I find myself here in Hearthglen, a scant few miles from home. It's time I paid my respects. I'm headed to Mender's Steed before I return home. I wouldn't mind meeting up with you again once I get there. It would appear that I arrived before you, adventurer. Field Agent Kartish gave me the details about my old home. It seems my battles with the Scourge aren't quite over yet. My analysis is complete. The blight that affects the animals here is no residual disease. No, it's something new, and I think I know what it is. The Cult of the Damned maintains a plague cauldron on a farm called Gathrien's Withering. This farm is due southeast of us, close to where the eastern Plaguelands begins. I need a sample from this cauldron to verify my suspicions. Eliminate the cauldron lord present there for its key. You will then be able to access the cauldron and obtain my sample. Cauldron lord's soul wrath key disintegrates as it touches the lock. On the access panel at the base of the cauldron's platform, a slight clanking noise is heard within. The access panel swings open to reveal more vicious toxins within the cauldron's framework. There's a small spigot that the bottle fits well enough under, allowing you to draw a sample for Field Agent Kartish back at the Mender's Stead. It's funny the things you remember. I spent 16 hours a day working the fields, and every 7th day I'd head into bustling Anderhall to sell what I had grown. It was a tough life, but we did all right. But I barely remember any of that. When I think back to those days, I think about Gloria's smile or Andrea's waving from the window whenever I'd look up from the plow. The farm's just a bit to the east, but I'm not sure I'm ready to go back. Adventure, I'd just like to make sure I hold on to these memories. This, Gloria used to read from this prayer book every night. How had I forgotten? She was so devout, adventurer. Dell's eyes turned to the finger painting. Oh, this painting. My daughter, Andrea, she loved to paint. You carefully close the spigot in the control panel, watching the cauldron's putrid ichors drip into the empty bottle. With the poison in hand, it's time to return to Agent Kartish at the Mender's Stead. Good work. One moment, please. The Jernai takes a moment to compare your sample with a sample he previously had distilled earlier. Yes, this appears to be the same corruption that is affecting the wildlife. With this knowledge and with your combat expertise, we may have the power to stop this. The Cult of the Damned maintains a small camp to the east, Malkiel's outpost, which they use for field training outside of the Skullomans. We may have allowed them to proceed unchecked with this training for too long. If cultists are truly using this plague to inoculate the wildlife, then Malchia's outpost must be when the inoculation is occurring. Instructor Malchius runs the outpost. Find her, slay her, and find who she's taking orders from. The orders in Malchius's possession incriminate Dark Master Gadling of the Skolamans, but they also conceal another important bit of information. While you've been away, I've been trying a different approach on our friend Zenkiki. I believe he may have a future as a healer. This is mainly because healing spells never miss. I hear from Field Agent Cartouche that the cultist group in the east is where the plagued animals are coming from. I hope you don't mind escorting Zenkiki over there. Perhaps he can help heal some of the plagued animals within the camp. By the grace of the Earth Mother, he's done it? Thank you, adventurer. I admit I had nearly given up on hope on Zenkiki. It is only due to your patience and diligence that he has come into his own as a druid and member of the Sonarian Circle. That's without even mentioning the good you've done for nature. You have my admiration and respect. The cult orders state that the plague from the cauldron at Garen's Withering is in fact being used for two purposes. The first is the practice of spreading disease through the animals of the Plaguelands, which you already knew about. The remainder of the plague is being shipped to the Weeping Cave, a cavern north of Malchius's outpost, for use in some dark experiments. Students of the Skolamans are using this plague to reanimate the dead. Certainly, they must be stopped. You have gone above and beyond, adventurer. Not only have we set back the cultists of the damned in the crusade to replague the Plaguelands, but you have uncovered another set of dire plans. They continue to reanimate the dead. Your name will definitely be mentioned when this information is presented to High Lord Fordring. Adventurer, you have my thanks and the blessing of the Argent Crusade. Word is from Anderhall, adventurer. The battle has resumed. It has become somewhat well known among the Alliance forces that you're a hero of the first Battle of Anderhall. Thasirian has requested your presence immediately. Word has it that you helped those farmers arm themselves. Well, now they've initiated the attack without my order. They've forced my hand. The battle has resumed. This time, we fight the Forsaken, and I fight Cortira, my old brother of the Ebon Blade. To the east, deep within the Forsaken held Anderhall, you will find their commanders. They do not fight, but call out orders from horseback. Hunt down and slay these commanders, adventurer. The Forsaken won't stand a chance. Well done. With them out of the way, I have no more excuses. Soon I must battle Coltira for honor of and for Anderhall. I'm no military expert, but this battle looks to be in our favor. Our defenses are equally matched with their death guards, but the farmers' militia has taken them by surprise from the rear for the Alliance. Still, we should all do whatever we can to make sure that we can win. Travel east into Anderhall and slay the Forsaken death guards that are fighting with our men. The sooner they die, the quicker we can retake Anderhall. You fight well, adventurer. I wish I had your ability and your bravery. We nearly have this battle won, adventurer. I can taste victory. The Forsaken never stood up. What the hell is that? Valkyr? Coltira brought Valkyr to this fight? Has he gone mad? No, this is not Coltira's work. This was Sylvanas. The Valkyr were one of the Scourge's primary weapons. Not only were they skilled in battle, but they could be used to convert corpses into Scourge minions. To think that Sylvanas is stooping to such levels for the sake of the Forsaken? We need to stop the Valkyr before they wipe us out and turn our army against us. Slay as many as you can find, and bring some of these Minutemen with you. If they've survived this long, then they must have some battle skill. For every Valkyr you slay, you save dozens of our men, and prevent the Forsaken forces from growing. Still, they press on. We may not win this battle after all. Our militia has been nearly wiped out. Only I and these few farmers remain. Those winged creatures, they took the bodies of our men and turned them into walking undead corpses. With every one of our men they took, they bolstered their own ranks. It pains me to admit it, but you will need to fight them too, along with the Death Guard and Valkyr. As they do in life, they hunt in packs, so take some of my Minutemen with you. You fought valiantly, but we're getting nowhere. Everybody that falls just fuels their forces. Our last hope of victory lies in defeating the Valkyrie. You've done well up until now, but you're only one adventurer, and there are literally dozens of them raining destruction on the battlefield. One enormous Valkyrie sits atop the tower to the south. You can see her from here. Perhaps if we eliminate her, the remaining Valkyrie will dissipate. This is our only hope. Bring some of Grant's men with you. We'll need their protection for this battle. I watch your victory from below. Well fought, but ultimately it was for naught. The Valkyrie and the Forsaken press on. Soon they will overtake us. We have lost Anderhall. Head south to Chilwyn Camp. Tell Commander Aslan and Valorfist everything that happened here. Me, I'm going west to Tears Fall. My battle is not over yet. I've got an appointment with that harpy that calls herself a Banshee Queen, and I'm finding out what she did to Kultira. Lost? No. Next, they'll be coming for Chilwyn. I suppose this was a major strategic blow to the Alliance's plan for Lordaeron. Very well, I will report the results of this battle to King Rin. I don't expect him to be happy. I saw the strangest commotion coming through the other day. A horse-drawn cart loaded with crates and chests, a Worgen woman at the reins and a blood elf by her side, and a Dwarven paladin running behind, yelling some of the most creative obscenities I've heard in quite some time. They look like they headed to Eastern Plaguelands, though I'd imagine they can't be far, Thandril River, by now. I wonder what they were up to. Yes? Okay, guys, well, that's the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. That was Western Plaguelands, and now it seems like we're going to go into Eastern Plaguelands on this Alliance character. But that was a cool that we saw that the Alliance actually lost the Battle of Anderhall, which is always cool to see because I am a main Horde player. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a big thumbs up down below. It helps out a ton. If there's anything I can do to make these videos more enjoyable for you, leave a comment down below. And I hope you guys are subbing so you guys get notifications of every upload I do. Again, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day. Peace.